iPhone 5 screen replacement guide. The tools we're going to need are tweezers, a plastic prying tool for disconnecting the cables, a proprietary Apple screwdriver called the pentalobe screwdriver, a standard Phillips head 00 screwdriver, a guitar pick for prying the phone apart, and a suction cup for lifting of the screen. To the lightning cable charging port, there are two pentalobe screws. Go ahead and remove them with the pentalobe screwdriver. Place the suction cup as close as you can to the home button. If the screen is badly cracked, use a piece of packing tape to tape over the cracks. That way you can create a seal so that the suction cup can function properly. With the phone on the solid surface, with one hand, go ahead and pinch it on both sides with your fingers and pull up on the screen with your main pointing finger and squeeze in the guitar pick in the bottom left corner near the auxiliary cable. Once you sneak it in, tilt it left to right to pry the screen apart. Pry around both sides to get the screen open. Once the phone is unclammed, we'll need to disconnect the screen from the phone completely. Go ahead and remove the 3 Phillips head screws that are different sizes that are guarding the connection to the screen. Once the 3 Phillips head screws are undone, go ahead and gently lift up the shield and move it out of the way. Begin by disconnecting the furthest ribbon cable from the screen. Gently underneath one of its corners with the plastic prying tool, pry it out of its socket. Make sure to go very slow and careful. You don't want to damage the socket when making this disconnection. Now the third and final connection. The screen is now free. Let's remove the shield that keeps the earpiece speaker in place. It's fastened with 2 Phillips head screws. Go ahead and remove those. If you get them mixed up, the top screw is the long one. Once you separate the shield, you can go ahead and lift up the earpiece. Here's what it looks like up close. Now let's disconnect the camera. Go ahead and begin by grabbing it from the left side and just gently prying it over to the right side. Do this very slowly. You don't want a sudden movement. You don't want to rip the cable. Just kind of want to pry it to the right. It comes out just like that. Here's what it looks like up close. Let's transfer over the guidance plastic piece for the camera and the rubber piece for the speaker. Okay, moving on to the home button. The home button is fastened with 2 Phillips head screws. Go ahead and remove them. Go ahead and lift up gently on the home button with the screws removed. You want to kind of pry underneath that connection. It's glued in. Go ahead and just undo it with a set of tweezers. Now you can just push the home button out of its socket. There we go. The LCD shield is screwed in with 1 screw in the bottom, 1 in the top, 2 on the left side, and 2 on the right side. This will be the last component that we'll need to remove. All screws are the same size. They're Phillips head screws. Go ahead and remove them and put them in a pile. With the side screws removed, remove the one in the bottom and the one in the top. It should come right out now. Reassembly. Begin by placing back the screen shield. Secure the Phillips head screw at the top. Now the one at the bottom. This will keep the shield in place. Go ahead and secure the 2 Phillips head screws on the left side and the 2 Phillips head screws on the right side. Drop the home button into its socket. Once you push it in, go ahead and flip over the screen, make sure that it's properly aligned. Now reattach the home button itself. Place it over the rubber home button piece. Make sure it's aligned correctly. Secure it with the 2 Phillips head screws. Once it's secured, flip over the phone and test it for proper tension. Place back the ear speaker rubber piece first in the following orientation. Then the camera holster. With the camera holster piece properly aligned, go ahead and start reinserting the camera. Make sure to plug the camera microphone in first. Once it's plugged in, you can just tip the camera into its socket. Once the camera is tipped into the socket, on the right side, you can use residual glue to refasten the speaker connection portion of the cable. Place the speaker, making sure that the 2 connections line up properly and make a firm connection once you lay the speaker down. Now secure everything in place with the speaker shield. The longer screw goes in the top and the shorter screw goes in the bottom if you get the screws confused. It's time to reconnect the screen. Go ahead and start off by bending back the 2 ribbon cables and the one further back. Reconnect that first. Make sure that you firmly connect it into the socket and you feel something like a click. Now the last and final third connection. Make sure that everything is connected correctly and firmly. Place the ribbon cable shield over the ribbon cables and secure it with the 3 Phillips head screws. With the shield secure, it's time to clamp up the phone. Start at the top edge of the phone and pry it into the phone case and then clamp it, going around the contour of the phone, making sure that the screen goes into the phone housing. It's time to seal the phone by placing 2 pentalobe screws in near the charging port. With the pentalobe screw secure, power on the phone and test it. If this video helped you, please hit like and subscribe and check out more videos at appledollars.com.